What's going on, people? If I sound a little under the weather, I had a long night last night. Good night, but a long night. And I woke up this morning and I felt like I've just been so tired all day. And my left nostril is like almost clogged shut. So if I sound a little iffy, that's pretty much what the deal is. But I felt like doing a review, so here we go. Today I want to talk about the latest EP from alternative R&B singer JMSN entitled Pllajë. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Pllajë or Pllajë. Either way, it's like Albanian. It translates into plateau. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, he's an alternative R&B singer, I believe from Detroit, and I think he currently resides in LA. He's done a bunch of collaborations, some including he's done a track with Kendrick Lamar, Ab-Soul, De Niro Ferrar. He's collabed with Blue Sky Black Death. I think he was on The Game's last album also, and that's just surface. That's just the surface of features. He's done tracks with a bunch of people that I've heard, and he always usually does his thing on features. And this EP is a follow-up to what I believe was his debut album, which was entitled Priscilla, which got a lot of good acclaim. I would say well-deserved. I definitely enjoyed it when I listened to it. For people who've never really listened to him, I've heard him get comparisons to The Weeknd, but to be honest, I've never really went out of my way to listen to The Weeknd, so I can't confirm or deny how true that is. Might be true, might be not, but I guess I can say, if you like The Weeknd style of music, then this is probably something that you should at least, give a shot and listen to. But to get into this album, the first thing after my first initial listen was I went back to compare it to Priscilla, which I don't always like comparing people's albums, because some albums, this is the EP, especially since the EP, it's kind of hard to go back to compare an EP to a full-length album. But one thing I thought on this EP that he did a lot better than he did on Priscilla was production. And that's not even to say that the production on Priscilla was necessarily bad. I just thought the production on this EP was just so much better. It had a very just like cinematic. The production just sounded so more just cinematic, and I don't know. It has such a better feel to it. Cinematic is like the only word that I can think of right now, but it had such a better feel to it to me than Priscilla did. And even though it was only 10 tracks, man, and I believe Jameson handled all the production on the entirety of his EP. So kudos to him. He did a really good job on the production, and I think that kind of cinematic, production was definitely a good compliment to his vocals. He has his vocals are kind of airy, a little bit spacious at times, but he still has a naturally, good singing voice. But that whole production feel definitely complements his vocals on every track. Another thing I liked about this EP that he did good that some people tend to overlook on albums is the way like songs are sequenced and things like that. He sequenced these songs really good, and if you listen to them, I even think from the opening track on the intro to the first actual track, songs like kind of segue into each other and lead into each other, which I think is cool. It's good to hear an album like that. It just makes it such a easier, it makes it sound more cohesive, and everything just kind of flows all together. And it overall, for me, when I hear when artists sequence their albums good, it just makes it a much easier a listen. Content and topic wise, you get I hate to say typical R&B, even though not all this is really typical, but you get themes of just love and the inner turmoil that can come with that, and pretty much all that whole spectrum. of what can go on in a relationship. And then you also, one of the songs on here in particular, it's kind of an inspirational, kind of breaks away from that whole love theme. It's kind of at least what I got out of it, was kind of a inspirational / like motivational track. And actually, I guess, yeah, since I talked about that, I might as well jump right into it. This EP is pretty short. Like I said, it's an EP, so it's only 10 tracks. I love how the intro starts off. It sets a nice tone for it. And then, like I mentioned, the sequencing earlier, the way the intro kind of fades out and then it leads into the opening track, Ada. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What I love about this track is when I say that this album this EP, had a much more cinematic feel to it than Priscilla. If you've heard Priscilla, the minute you hear this track, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The drums in this track are crazy. It just has such a like epic cinematic feel to it. And this was the song I mentioned that wasn't really like a love track. This was really something just kind of inspirational, get up, get going, fight the good fight kind of way. But kind of a fight the good fight kind of track. But the way he delivered it was so, the production and songwriting were just so good. This was, I always say in every review I do about starting albums off and ending them off, and he started this off with pretty much my favorite track on the whole project. I honestly can't say there are any songs on this project that I don't necessarily like. Only 10 tracks, and of course you got some that I like more than others, but overall I can't think of any songs on here that like I skip or anything. I like, usually when I listen to this EP, man, I listen to this the whole way through. Standout tracks, like I said, Ada was a dope track. Wasted Love was another track I like, about him not wanting, him trying to find something that is permanent, and he doesn't feel like he's just going through the motions and wasting his time. Walk Away was probably my second favorite one off here. That was actually, I believe, one of the singles that he released when this album dropped. The One was another good track on here, and the ending track, Fool, I like on here, which was kind of about which is kind of about kind of just being a fool for somebody. They're kind of bad for you, but in some ways, emotions get involved, and you can't help it. You feel how you feel. But yeah, I don't want to drag this review on forever, but like I said, if you're into that alternative kind of R&B style, if you ever listen to there's an artist called How to Dress Well. If you ever listen to him, if you've ever heard of James Young, and I guess The Weeknd, since I've heard that comparison get thrown around, if you ever listen to any of them, this is definitely something you'll definitely want to pick up. And I'll also say, even if you don't enjoy this, which I believe you probably will if you like the style of music, but regardless, you should definitely go back and listen to Priscilla. The reason why I thought it was kind of hard to compare these two is that, Priscilla, and why I don't think it's even fair to kind of compare them, is that Priscilla is a full-length, album that had like 16 or 17 tracks, something like that. And this is just a 10-track EP. But one thing I thought on Priscilla, I guess in comparison, I enjoyed the songwriting, more on Priscilla, and I found some of the tracks on Priscilla, I guess, to be more catchy. They kind of stuck with me a little more. So I would say, if to get a full taste of his music and what he can do, I would definitely say, if this is your first listen, listen to this and then go back and check out Priscilla, because those two projects definitely had totally different feels to them. And then Priscilla is a longer project, so you can get more of a feel of what he can do with his music. But man, he has good vocals, good songwriting. Like I said, on this EP in particular, the production was was really on point, and it helped carry the album the whole way through. I don't have any tracks on here that I would say are skippable or whack. They're they're not, I'm not gonna say this like a classic, but just saying it was that solid of a project that there's nothing on here that I can say that I didn't like. So yeah, man, if you're into that alternative R&B or R&B in general, I'd say go in with an open mind. Give this dude a listen. I know I wasn't disappointed after the first listen. I knew that this was gonna be something I was gonna go back and listen to over and over. But if you've heard this EP, let me know what you think. If you haven't, go check it out. And I look forward to see whatever he does in the future. I hope that his next full-length album has this, or at least more of this kind of production on it. Is definitely a good look, and he definitely did a good job of handling all the production by himself. So yeah, JMSN, Pllajë, hopefully I'm saying that right, or Plateau EP, gets my approval, and hopefully I'll be back with a review soon. If not, until next time, we'll catch y'all later.